I did not see a commercial. I did not see a trailer. All I saw from this movie was the poster. That is all I saw. I saw it had a 97% Rotten Tomatoes, and I work at the movie theater, and this family came out and they wanted a refund because they were like, this is not what I paid for, this is not what I expected, even though I can't change that, that's the movie how it was made. I walked into this movie thinking just nothing. I was like, I heard good things, I've heard some mixed things, let's just see what it is, man. Wow. The Hate U Give. This movie is directed by George Tillman Jr., who also directed the movie called Notorious, which I saw a long time ago. He also directed a movie called Faster, which is an underrated Dwayne Johnson movie. And I think he had something to do with Barbershop series. I'm not sure about that. I know he did Notorious and Faster. But either way, this movie is based on a book called The Hate U Give. And it is about this girl named Star, who is played by the girl from Hunger Games. Took me a while to think who that was. I forget her name, but she plays Star in the movie. And she is an African-American girl, grows up in her family. Her dad is he had a bad past with just many racism things happen. He was in the gang at one point. He was with Anthony Mackie and his gang. He's got a lot of family connections. They live in this little town, whatever, and it's not the greatest town. The local school is a trash house. It is not a place you want to go. So the mom and dad take Star, her brother, her other brothers, and they go to this very nice school with a bunch of like rich white people, whatever. And so she goes there, and then one weekend she goes and finds an old friend. They hang out. Something goes down, which leads to a murder, and which leads to a big newscast nationwide in this town. People are freaking out, and Star has a decision to make if she wants to talk about what happened, the racism, the politics, all about it, making a stand, raising your voice. It's a lot. And again, this is a tough movie to review because it's a really tough topic to talk about. But as a movie review, I'm just going to review the movie, and the movie is amazing. This is a movie that needs to be seen. Everyone needs to see it. Okay, now if you're a family of a 4-year-old, I don't recommend it. The 4-year-old, not yet. But when they get older, this is a movie they need to see. This is something that is dealt with today. That is something that is still happening today. And this movie goes right for it. And I gotta give it up to the director, Gilman Jr., whatever. He directed this movie amazingly. I think he did an amazing job with these characters. The dialogue, the script, and the story is fantastic. I loved every character. Star, the girl from Hunger Games, I honestly believe she gives an Oscar-worthy performance in this movie. That's just my opinion. She is that good. I mean, she is good. I mean, you love Star. She can be very righteous when she needs to be. She can be very nice when she needs to be. Calm, sad. It is amazing, and she does a fantastic job. And especially what Star, the character, goes through in the very beginning of this movie. That again, I did not see a trailer, and I had no idea what was going to happen. And this incident with the white cop and her friend in this car, intense scene that was amazingly filmed, and just everything about the directing was so good. And I think he also did The Longest Ride, which is very shocking. But again, the directing was A+ material. And one of my favorite things about this movie, when it is shown in her household or her neighborhood or anything like that, the cinematography is riggedy. It's kind of light color. It's not really, it's brighter, it's a different color. But then when it goes to the school, the scenery, the color scheme, the cinematography changes to light blue, kind of grayish, and you can tell they're in different territories. I loved that. Again, I love the technical. The cinematography was great. The acting all around was fantastic. I loved the people who played the mom and dad to Star. They were great. The kid who played her brother, who was 7, I think his name was, he was great. The little brother was great. Again, the acting is just the dad. If the supporting actor nomination can happen, it's him. The dad, there is one scene where they're in the yard. I was in tears. Literal tears down my face. It was just impactful, and what he says to his children in the yard is something like, there is so many moments of this movie that just hit me hard, that got me teary-eyed, but that moment, tears down my eyes. I was like, that is acting right there. He deserves a supporting actor nomination. Common's also in this movie. He doesn't have a huge role, but when he's in it, he's fine. He does a good job. Again, the acting is great, the dialogue is great, the characters are great. I love the relationship between Star and her white boyfriend. I love that little connection. I love the little subplot that happens between her and her dad. Love that scene. Again, it felt like a great story and setting, and again, this movie goes through places about racism and what's going on today, and it goes through there's some tough scenes to watch. I mean, there's a scene where the restaurant and cops pull up and they kind of attack her family, and it is just a tough scene to watch. I mean, the scene with the beginning scene, the scene that makes the whole movie happen, that scene was very tough to watch. There are some tough scenes. The acting is A+ material. The story is on point. I was intrigued from beginning to end. I love the ending as well. The ending is so intense, and it is a great message. And the hate you give message at the very end is so great. I love where it comes from. And I also love the little Harry Potter thing they do in this movie. I won't spoil what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's a book too, which, again, I've heard the books and the movies stuck together pretty well, but the Harry Potter thing was a cute little thing I loved. Again, I loved this movie. This movie is going to stick with me for a long time. Just how impactful it is. I think this is a movie everyone in America needs to see. This is something important to people to see, so the message can get out there. This is a movie to see. The Hate U Give is a fantastic movie with great characters, acting, dialogue, story. Everyone's good. I love the mom and dad. I loved her. I love Star. She needs an Oscar nomination. She's got a bright future. She was amazing in this movie. My only con, I didn't think Anthony Mackie was antagonizing. He's the villain of the story, you could say. He's the high leader gang member who's king, whatever. I thought he wasn't intimidating at all. I don't know if it was Anthony Mackie's performance. I don't know if it's just because of Anthony Mackie. I'm not sure, but I just feel like they could have got someone way more like evil to play him. Like Mahershala Ali, he would have been perfect in that role. Perfect. Anthony Mackie just wasn't antagonizing to me. But besides that, the movie is one of the best movies of the year, hands down. I'm going to give The Hate U Give a very high A. It is a movie to see. It is fantastic. Go and see it. But I'm telling you right now, there are some scenes it is hard to watch. And again, I love this movie. I love the message. It needs to be shown to a lot of places. I feel like schools need to show this. Like, I do. I think this is something that needs to be talked about. And this movie just goes for it. And I love the directing for doing that. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoy this review. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, guys.